there's. Yeah, we're live.
All right.
Or I guess now we are.
Oh, okay.
Do I have a great idea for before the show?
Uh huh.
Have like one of those interrupting people who like interrupt in the middle of your show and say, "Oh, breaking news,"
Oh yeah.
and then that pops up.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I need to figure out how to do it though. I suck with computers.
I think what if I switch over to Streamlabs,
Uh,
I think you can do a starting piece that way.
oh,
I
okay.
don't think you can do it on OBS. Yeah, if you can, I don't. Well, I don't know. You can do a slideshow, so I guess we could do something with sound.
Yeah.
And I'd have to play with it. I'd like sit down and figure it out. I'm sure with me and everybody in the Discord, we could at least figure something out.
Yeah. So I believe they're done. We could pop
All
on whenever
right.
you're ready.
All right. Time for that smooth, buttery transition. Oh, hell, I forgot to push the button. I guess that probably helped. There we go. Ooh, nice and smooth. We should be on.
Oh,
Oh,
all right. Well, what's going on, everyone? Texas Cloud Town back again for episode 20 of the Weekend Wisdom with Mr. Shane Oakley, amazing co-host. Held it down last week and had some fun with that.
dude, I had a ball. I had so much fun last week just getting on there. We had a little Oakley rants. Logan Exhales was there. Uh, I'm that guy Matt from the Rise of Vape Discord jumped on. I had some issues, a couple of issues with Zoom, but I got it figured out, of course, afterwards, and which it was my fault that it happened. So, but we'll get it all ironed out. But I'm sure you had fun at the expo.
Oh yeah, the expo was super fun. Got to I don't think I was really impressed by the vendors or anything, but like meeting Turk was cool and got to meet Joel, Stan, everyone. But I think the main thing I really went for was meeting all the people. That was really fun. Had a
Yeah,
lot of fun doing that. Probably a lot more fun doing that than walking around the show. Because I mean, after the first day, you're kind of like, all right, well, what did I not see?
yeah. And man, I hate it that I wasn't there. But roof and air conditioner will kill a tree up in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So we're gonna start with our buffet. So Shane, go ahead, hit him with your buffet, man.
All right, it's not much different than normal, but I got my Mr. Just Right unicorn with my dead goat in there. Got the butter cookie today, a little fresh lemon cookie. Got the axial on the keen, black and shiny all the way across the board. I don't know if this will focus, but this is a little tester bottle. There it goes. That I got from Paradigm, Wicked Berry. It's pretty much empty. I've got it all in the RDA, so I've been milking it for a few days. I got the drop on the White Dreamer. I got that matchy DHD drip tip. Thank you, Jess Marie. And in there, the all day merge transmission. Can't go without it. I got my iJoy Shogun with the Unity on top in there. Still
Nice.
got the Parade Maker. That little bit left in the bottom. I have to I have to make another order. And right now it's 35% off, so I may do it right after we get done here.
Mm-hmm.
And I have these two have the same thing in it, the Nord and then the intake on the Aegis. Both of those got the bubs from IVC in there. And
Nice.
then I have my Caliburn with that Solace Mint. Uh, it's a minty non-menthol. It's like a spearmint without menthol, so it's pretty good. So,
Sounds
but
good.
that's what I've got, man.
All right. So I got the Mike Babe's Rebirth RTA on top of the Revenant Cartel with Tango Melon. Thank you, Swags. I don't think I'm gonna get as addicted to it as him, but hey, it's pretty good. Next, I got this drip wick butter pecan caramel. I got it from the expo, and I have that in my purge stack with the Apocalypse 25 on top,
Nice.
and some Macy Bandit Builds coils. Amazing. Next, I got the M Turk on top of the Dreamer LE with some Turkish maize in there, Turk V2. And then
Now
I got
which
another Turk V2 with the Red Dreamer, all red out.
That's
And
awesome.
it's, yeah, this is my favorite setup right now. And inside that, I got Prohibition, Syntax, and I got Coil Clout coils in here. They they hit super hard and they are really good. They're N90, so it's my first experience with the N90.
Hmm.
I like it. It's not bad.
Now which Turk juice was that?
This was the Turkish maize,
Which is which one? The
butterscotch
butterscotch.
and corn.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's Turkish harvest. I believe that one is the
I think that was the
butterscotch
apple.
and apple.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really good. Oh, and then I got this right here, my little pod system with some. I put a mix of Prohibition syntax and some local juice I got. That's the peanut butter cookie, and I think that's a 12 milligrams. So I wanted to bring it down a little bit with that. But I've been loving this thing. Um, so yeah, so Expo, I got to go do that, and it was super fun. Missed doing the show. I did a little bit of it, but I mean, it was a fun show just because I got to hang out with a bunch of people. So I definitely advise anyone to go to one if you can. But a lot of crap happened whenever I was gone. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Like we got one right here. Everyone knows about the ban of e-cigarettes in San Francisco. Well, now there's another town, Livermore, California, just joined San Francisco in banning all vaping products. So, I mean, it's just crazy to see cities taking it in their own hands to go and actually do that. But I mean, you can't ever you can't ever prepare for that either, though.
Right.
But I just put the link in the chat. But I mean, what's your thoughts on that? On actual cities, not whole states, but just cities banning it.
Well, and I don't know how big Livermore is. I know San Francisco is a very large city. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to think about how many vape shops are in that city. Probably a few. There's probably at least, let's just say there's 20 within the city limits. So either those people that own that shop are either going to close the doors or they have to move outside the city limits.
Mm-hmm.
So their cost is probably, I mean, depending on where they move to, their cost could go down, but they still have the cost of moving. Uh, so more than likely, I would say at least half of them are probably going to close. So you're going to more than likely lose 10 if there is 20. So more than likely you'd lose 10 vape shops where the owner would lose the income. Ever how many employees he has is going to lose their income. So it's adding to another problem, which is unemployment. I
Mm-hmm.
know people are, we're working on it. We're working on it. Doing this is not helping at all. Looking at it from, a completely different perspective. Not just the people aren't going to be able to buy vape supplies. Those people that are working at the shops that are going to close, they're not going to be able to buy anything because they don't have any income coming in. They're not going to be able to feed their families. And that's the most important thing about this to me.
Yeah. And then like one thing, I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Vandal on the Three Amigos. He was saying, "Look at all your shipping stuff. Where does it come from now? Because you don't see all those places in California no more. They're all
Mm-hmm.
going to Vegas.
Yep.
So, yeah, like we always say, even if you don't live in that state, still try to fight it some way you can. Because I mean, there's sometimes people put links and you have to have an actual address. Those are hard to actually do because you don't live in that city, but you could still call their representative. You could still sit there and send a letter, an email, or something just to let them know, hey, I don't live in that state, but I purchased stuff from that state, and this is really going to affect me and everyone else around the United States. So, I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
always good to let everyone know that.
And then,
But yeah,
the other
good.
side of it is the kids, or yeah, I say kids, the people that are underage that are vaping at this time, what are they going to do now? What are the people that are smoking that want to stop smoking? What are they going to do? They're going to keep smoking. The people that are vaping that don't feel like driving outside the city to do, to get their supplies because they can't have them mailed to them anymore, they're going to go back to smoking. So they're
Mhm.
they're taking away something that's 95% healthier, proven proven
Mhm.
95% healthier by real science and not junk science, and they're taking that away. So in other words, they're just saying, "Hey, smoking's okay," because they're not banning it. By the way,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
only e-cigarettes. You can still smoke the tobacco that's going to kill you. Instead of taking this that's healthier. And like Anthony Morella said in the chat, Jewel is located there. We talked about that before
yeah,
the show. So
yep.
I don't understand how Jewel can be there and manufacture it, but it's not allowed to be sold in that area, in that city. So
Yeah,
it just doesn't make sense to me.
yeah. That doesn't make sense to me either. They must be paying some good money to kind of keep it quiet within
Yeah,
the city. But yeah, like all the like you said, not, we one thing that we got to remember is most of the people in chat and me and Shane were hobbyists. So I mean, something like that happens in our city, we already know what to do. Like
mm-hmm.
me, I'm starting to learn how to DIY just in case like B plans start messing up and you can't even get it from this guy no more because he got caught with it or in trouble with it. Just in case something goes further, and because I want to be able to make a juice that is like suited to me perfectly. But I mean, it's like me and Shane, we would know what to do. Everyone in the chat would know what to do. Hey, well, let me order it from here. Let me order it from here. Okay, well, if not, let me go here. There's so many things that we know that we can do, but it's the people who don't know about that yet.
Right,
Like whenever I first started vaping, I thought the only place to get vaping products was from the local store or the local shop. I didn't know. Okay, yeah, hey, I could go online. I could. There's Facebook groups, there's Discords, there's Instagram accounts for it. I wouldn't know to look up YouTube until people start telling me about it. So I mean, that's one thing we gotta stress is that it's not like we will be okay. But the people out there who are just starting out, or the people who are in the certain age brackets where they really don't want to mess with computers or anything like that,
right,
it's going to be super hard for them to not go back to smoking cigarettes.
right. And you think about there's people out there that are in their 50s and 60s. Addy Tooney is in the chat. He's been vaping a while, but think about someone that's in that age bracket. They've been smoking for 25, 28, 30, 40 years. And think about if they want to quit. They may not want to drive, 40 miles away to have to get something because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would want to drive 40 miles away and I'm only 42. So, think about those people, they've been there, they don't want to move, but they want to quit smoking. They don't have any choice. There's nothing they can do unless they want to drive way out of their way to go get something.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And
That
then like even if they want to like go as far as you're not allowed to vape in your car, like crossing through those city lines. That's one thing that we bring up is one city you could be vaping and you could be fine. The next city you
mm-hmm.
could be vaping in your car and you get pulled over and they say, "Hey, you're not allowed to do that within these city limits. Here's your ticket."
Yeah.
That's stuff that we're gonna have to look out for in the future. And that's one
Mm-hmm.
thing where yeah, regulations and stuff like that we got to abide by them. We got to apply to them. We got to make sure we're doing everything right because we don't want to get in trouble and everything. But the thing is we still got to make sure we're not just like, oh, okay, yeah, this is okay. We're okay with it. Let's keep it that way. Because if we just keep saying okay to everything, then eventually it's going to keep going and growing and growing, and then it's going to eventually be to where everything's banned. Like one thing I like to bring up is the nicotine warnings. You start getting companies who aren't doing it, what are they going to do next? Okay, well, since y'all aren't doing it, y'all need to make it 60%.
Right.
So then you're going to be right here with the warning, and this
Yeah.
part, about the size of the warning label right there, is going to be what
Yeah.
your actual advertising is. So that's one thing I want to say is make sure we're still going to go by the rules, but let's make sure we sit there and we still voice our opinion about the rules, even if we're okay with them, even if it's like okay, 10% to cancer research. Yeah, okay, that's cool. That's
Right.
good. That's something that vaping would honestly embrace because we have a way lower risk to get cancer than cigarettes, a 95% risk
Mm-hmm.
or 95% lower risk. So, I
Right.
mean, that's something that would be really great, but most times the money is not going towards that.
Oh no. Well, even if it does, it goes to their cancer research who they choose. And that
Yeah.
that may be some junk person out doing research in their van. You never know.
Hmm.
So that makes it hard for us. And there's a lot of things out there that are kind of that way. I wanted to address something that Anthony said in the chat. He said, I bet the IQOS will be sold in San Francisco. I will guarantee you that it will be
Yeah.
because the wording in their ban is only PMTA approved vaping devices can be sold. So IQOS is in the clear because they have their PMTA done. Uh,
Yeah. Them and Jewel would be
yep.
cleared, I believe.
Well, I
That's the
don't
only
know.
two.
Has Juul got their PMTA approved? I thought
I don't know if they got the
IQOS.
PMTA, but I know that they got FDA approved.
Yeah, I think they got that, but they still have to do that PMTA.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's just yeah. I mean, we know we're gonna see those there. That's the thing that's crappy about it is even
Mm-hmm.
though other small companies like Blue and Enjoy, they would be kind of screwed because they're the same kind of device, but I guarantee you they don't have the money to go do that.
Right.
So they're going to be pretty much thrown away and not allowed in the city at all.
And anybody that did that hasn't seen it, Jay Hayes did a review on the IQOS on his channel. He looked at it, showed us everything about it. If you haven't watched that video, please go watch it because he goes into a lot of detail about a lot of the pieces to it.
Yeah. On my Lana said if they get rid of vaping and vaping is considered a tobacco product, then don't and but they don't do anything with tobacco. Don't they have to get rid of tobacco cigarettes if vaping is applied? Or I guess if they're just saying vaping in general or e-cigarettes in general, they wouldn't have to. But if you want to put them all together, unlike whatever state that was where they actually separated them, but if you want to put them all together, then they should be treated the exact same. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if they're FDA approved or not.
Yep.
Because I know no Marlboro cigarettes are FDA approved or anything like that. So I mean,
No.
it's kind of crazy how they can go around their own rules that they make and just hey, well, no, we're gonna this is gonna be our only what if thing.
Yeah. I
No,
think
we shouldn't have any of that.
wasn't that Michigan that has it separated now?
Yeah, I believe it is. I
Yeah.
believe it's Michigan.
It's up there close to Dan.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's
I
what
mean
Anthony just said. Michigan split them.
yeah. So I mean, like with the Michigan one, that's something where we could be like, okay, yeah, it's a good thing, but then again, it could be a terrible thing because they could do something like that and they would still be going by the rules by saying, okay, only vaping products are banned, but then they could also
Right.
say, okay, well, we're the ones who actually separated them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm surprised I don't see more states doing that after Michigan went ahead and did that, so that way they could do different regulations and not have to worry about hearing it from big tobacco or anything.
Yeah. I just know if here nutshell, easy understanding. If you're in a place that nothing has happened yet, be ready. New
Yeah.
York is pushing, California is going, so it's going to work its way down because it always does. Everything, normally starts northeast and out west, and all of a sudden it's going to be on top of you, and you're not going to be ready for it. That's why
Yep.
we're here. We want to prepare you for whenever it's what's coming whenever you see it coming.
Oh yeah, because I mean, you don't want to be sitting there on the balls of your feet. You want to stay on your toes and be ready for it. Because, like Shane said, it comes from the east and the west, and it just starts coming together. And
Mm-hmm.
once it gets to the middle, you're kind of already in it. Because if you're one of the middle states that doesn't really like to take action ahead of time or do something first, then they're going to look at every other state that went ahead and did it, and they're going to be like, you know what? All the other states are going with it. Might as well do it. So I mean, there's a lot that need to be done even in your state. Still, make sure you call your representatives, your governor, call everyone, call your local town mayor and everything.
Yep.
call them and let them know, because I guarantee you they're gonna go to meetings like that.
Yeah.
Oh my land, I have a Twitter. I believe I followed you, but yeah, Twitter. That's something I need to spend more time on, because when I first got back into like this advocacy stuff, is that's one of the first things I did was go to Twitter, because I'm hearing Grim Green talk about it all the time, and I kind of just started floating away from it. I need to get back on Twitter more, because there's sometimes where you can hear about stuff before you hear about it from Vaping and Vape News Magazine. There's quite a bit of stuff you can hear firsthand right there. So I mean, Twitter is a really good place to be able to hear news and stuff like that. Because like me, I don't watch the news in the morning. Only thing I do is like if I look at my phone, something from the news comes up. Okay, I know what happened on this and that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like almost like a CNN of social media.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff you can find on Twitter.
And another thing Anthony asked, Anthony Ramella, I think that's how you say it. How do we get this truth out to the masses? That's what we're doing, man. We're trying to do everything we can, but we have to do it together as a unit. There's no way that Jay and I can do it for everybody. There's no way you can do it for everybody. We have to do this together. And that's something that Jay and I have talked about many times in the past is there has to be unity within the vaping community to make a
Ooh.
difference.
See, I never put it that way, but you put it that way. I mean, that could be a slogan.
Yeah,
Vaping unity in the vape community. Look at that. See, t-shirts going up
there
for
we go.
sale. The links will be down
Hey,
below.
there we go.
But yes, that's honestly a really good one, because I mean, we always say it. If you look at most of my advocacy hashtags on my Instagram or anything,
Mm-hmm.
Vapors United or Vape Unity, I'll do a lot of those, because I'm tired of seeing people complain in the same. We're all in the same community. Yeah, I know everyone's gonna have their differences, but why can't we just accept it? We talk about how the vape community is so they're so accepting, no matter what you do, as long as it's harm reduction. But then there's so much drama. I don't want to say there's anything else besides drama. It's pretty much just drama in the vape
Mm-hmm.
community. It's We're all a big family.
Yep.
Yeah, families argue, but families need to get over it. And just like the vape community, everyone needs to get over it and just be one big family and fight together. Because when we're fighting our own, I don't know what you want to call it. If we're fighting our own separate battles just against other people in the community, then we're not doing anything besides making ourselves look stupid. Because when
Right.
you start exposing people, they're like, "Oh, look what the vape community does."
Yeah.
It's always good to call people out on stuff, but don't take it too far to where there's like fights and arguments over it, because then it
Right.
just makes everyone else look bad.
Well, I had a friend of mine. He's a barber here in town, and I took my youngest son to get his haircut today. And he asked me while I was in there, he was like, what are you doing these days? He's like, I see you on Instagram and stuff doing these videos about vaping. And I was like, well, I said, I still work my regular job, but vape advocacy is something that I'm very passionate about. And he wanted me to explain it to him, what all was going on. He's not a smoker, he's, not a vapor, but it gave me the opportunity to get the word out there to
Yeah.
somebody that's not involved on either side. And he has no opinion to either side. He smoked in the past, but he was able to put it down. I don't know, I didn't ask him how he did it, but I explained to him, how much this has affected my life, how this has saved me. And I was able to just get more education out there, get more truth just to a normal person, not for or against. And I think that's what we have to do is we have to be, I don't want to say we have to be like the antis, but
Mhm.
in a way we do, because the antis will get out there to the non-smoker, to the non-vapor, to the person that smoked for 20 years and quit cold turkey. And anybody out there that has smoked for an extended amount of time and quit cold turkey, find me, because I want to shake your hand. Because
Mhm.
you are the strongest person I've ever met. I know people that have done it. My dad did it. My dad smoked for as long as I can remember, and I think it was 10 or 11 years ago. He actually got real sick with bronchitis, and they told him you're going to have to quit smoking. And he laid them down that day and hasn't picked up one since.
Yeah.
You know, but back to what I was talking about, I was able to do that to get the word out there for the correct education to somebody that doesn't favor one side or the other. And that's the antis do that, but they don't do that with facts. They do that with, I don't want to say uneducated, but non-proven science. I don't want to be rude about it, but it is. I mean, it's somebody says, "Hey, you know, if you do this, you're going to die." Everybody has a family member, a grandmother or a great aunt, something like that, that's really overprotective. No, you can't go outside. You might die. And that's kind of the way the extremist antis. That's kind of the way they come across to me.
Yeah. See, like it's always like you just said, it's always good to talk to people about it who don't smoke or don't vape at all, because then they understand how bad smokers smell. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's something that like you said, if you're getting a haircut, guarantee that the barber, salon, where anyone goes, they always have someone who comes in and smell like cigarettes, and they can tell that one person. That one person, they could change their whole life just by you talking to someone random about it. Like my mom, she always complains to me, "Oh, well, you shouldn't be putting that in your body." I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, it helps me not do other stuff." She's like, "Well, yeah, I mean, it is safer for you." And she's actually read up on it, like how much safer and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's stuff like that because I know she works with a lot of smokers, and she's said that she's talked to them before about like, oh, why don't you try vaping? Like, look at my son's channel; he does some stuff on vaping, so that way you can kind of learn about it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's also good to show the people out there where they can find help and support, because like whenever I do reviews, most of my vape reviews are positive because I buy stuff I like. So I mean, you might not be able to find someone like Grim Green out there who is going to have mixed feelings for everything because he pretty much reviews the stuff that gets sent to him and like rip chippers and stuff like that. So I mean, most times the stuff I do is I like it. So I mean, I do it because I want to show people what is good out there and kind of where to start from, because I mean it is scary starting out. There's RDAs, RTAs, there's squonkers, there's
Yeah.
mech mods, there's so much stuff out there, so many different liquids too. And I mean, I've been a victim of it. I've bought some bad liquids before.
Oh yeah.
You buy a custard, okay, this is gonna be good, and it tastes like baby wipes, and you're like, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the main reason why I do reviews, is because I don't want people to feel scared whenever they start vaping. I want them to be able to find a channel and be like, you know what, let me find something for like a new vapor, and then boom, okay, go check out this guy's pod reviews or his starter kits. That's always good stuff right
Yep.
there.
And I was able to go on not another vape show last
Yes,
Sunday,
yes.
uh, and I was able. I don't remember how many people were in there, watching at the time, but I was able to take Heavy's message from his show last week and take it on that show of there is a lot of lazy vapors out there, and we have to get off our ass and do something.
Hmm.
That impacted me when he said that. Now I'm not one that sits on my haunches and waits. You know, Jay and I are out here on the front lines because we want to be. But I do agree with Heavy. There's a lot of lazy people out there that just want to vape and don't pay attention to what's going on. Uh, so we, the people on the front lines, have to be more. I don't want to say aggressive, but it is. We have to be more assertive with what we're doing and the points we're trying to make, and we have to understand that there is a lot of things out there that people need to know, and we need to be the people that are taking it to them.
Yeah, because I mean, if the government really cared about your health, they would be saying it on the local news. They would be saying it as
Mm-hmm.
doctors, hospitals,
Right.
kind of like what the UK is doing. And that, I mean, that's a good transition to the next one. Is it's one from Angela Garrity, and it's a lot of people are promoting vaping over smoking, and they're promoting it to actual smokers. So I mean, that's something that's awesome, and I'll drop the link in there. But it's pretty much just talking about how the UK is, how we all know that they are huge into vaping, and they're uh, really focused on getting a lot of smokers off of cigarettes and into vaping. So I mean, there's there's something that the U.S. can learn from that. But like I said, you don't see them coming on the local news or anywhere. All you see them even talking, I guess, crap about e-cigarettes like Juul and stuff. Oh, well, this contains that. Well, the thing is, they're actually stating real facts, but they're not stating like, okay, you're not going to take one puff and it's going to be 50 milligrams of Nick salt that goes into you all at once.
Right.
No, the whole pod is 50.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different things that the government does to try to get people away from vaping and something that's healthier, just like all these bans, all these taxes and everything. But then you look at cigarettes and it's kind of like, okay, well, we're just going to push them off to the side and not pay too much attention to them until someone starts talking about it. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's why we always say talk about it.
Yeah. One other thing before we move on from the ban. One other thing they didn't ban was smoking cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
So you can still have tobacco and you can still have cannabis, but you can't vape. You can't buy vape.
Yeah, the thing that I don't understand is, okay, I know that cannabis was considered a drug in a lot of states, and it still is. And a lot of states are a controlled substance, but yet the stuff that just got approved, what maybe in Colorado or in California, what was it? Maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it hasn't been that long. But then you have something like vaping, and you're trying to ban something that's way healthier than actual that's something that y'all considered a drug a couple years back, and y'all are just going to keep it up with that. Say, okay, yeah, it's fine. You can smoke weed. We know we used to call it a drug, but it's not a drug now. And you can have it and have fun, but then you can't have vaping, which is something that's way healthier and way better for you.
Right.
And to me, that makes no sense. Is just like uh, Colorado, and they have shrooms that are legal now, but yet they're trying to put taxes on vaping, and then you have all these other places who are trying to ban vaping, but yet we have drugs or controlled substances that you have to go to a certain shop for, and they're trying to prevent you from getting something that's way healthier and better for you. I wish we were more like the UK, honestly, and New Zealand, where we were actually promoting it and getting the word out about it and not having the government lie to everyone.
Yeah. What's up, Matt?
Yeah,
Good to see you, buddy.
yeah. Oh my land, I believe you could still vape the cannabis there.
Oh, I was just responding to him in chat.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not listed in there. It says you can because that's not listed in the ban. It's not saying
Yeah.
that you can't. So, the only
Yeah.
other assumption is yes, you can.
And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but stuff like that does not really make sense. It's you gotta, like Dan asked earlier. You To me, pretty much you gotta do it all together. If you want to consider it all the same, you have to ban everything. You can't just half-ass ban something that
Yeah.
you're putting together.
You come in there and you say no tobacco products whatsoever, and you have a list that is specific. You can't have a cigarette, an e-cigarette. You can't smoke anything. If you want to ban it all. I'm not for any of it. I'm for free choice. If you choose to do it, that's your choice. I understand there needs to be some sort of regulation on it, and they want to. And to me, here's my pitch on the FDA deal, the PMTA. They want to know what's in it. They want to know what it does at certain temperatures and things like that. I understand all that. They want the science behind it. So I can understand them requesting all of that. Now, making you pay as much as you have to pay to be a part of it, no, I don't agree with it. I think it's a cash grab for the FDA. Uh, that's just my opinion. But I understand why they're doing it because they just want to know the science behind it. But they could get that very easily and not charge what they're charging to the people.
Yeah. Let me fix this screen. But one thing that I actually got to talk to a vendor at the show, I don't think he was a vendor at the actual show, but he was there at the show, and he owns a company. One thing that he was saying is that they give you 2 years to finish all your stuff and send it in, but he said one of the things that they want is a 5 year test, like a test that will pretty much take 5 years to take or to do, to test your products properly and everything. And they're wanting that within 2 years, but they're requesting five. So I mean, that's just some stuff right there to show that they're not for vaping. They're not trying to make it easy. They're not trying to let you. They're not. They're pretty much trying to get rid of it. If you look at everything, because he pretty much said after something like that happens, he's gonna have to go underground because there's no way else he could do anything or start going over to the UK. Like you see a lot of vapors now who are trying to move their juices to like the UK and India and
Mm-hmm.
New Zealand and all these places, and they're US based people, but yet they're trying to move their juices elsewhere so that way they're not having to deal with all this stuff. And honestly, it sucks because I mean, I love my flavors. I love getting any different kind of flavor. Like right now in front of me, I got like four different kinds uh, of custard flavors, and they're
Yeah.
all different flavor profiles and everything. But I mean, they're all the same type of flavor. But I like my flavors. I like to be able to have unique, different flavors. And in the U.S., we're not gonna be able to have that. We're not gonna be able to even have any kind of vaping product at all. So I mean, it's
Right.
stuff that we got to look out for.
Yeah, I'm kind of a different across the board. I've got butter cookie, lemonade, watermelon gum. I got some fruit punch back here. I got a hazelnut toffee sugar cookie. So I'm kind of all over the board with flavor.
Yeah. Uh, Dan, I'm gonna move to the UK with you.
Yes.
Hashtag moving to the UK. See,
Hashtag Stooge House UK.
there we go. See, and that's one thing we talked about in Houston. I was like, dude, if everyone who was there at the show with us and stayed in the Bugs and Drugs house, it's like if we all had one apartment or one house together and we all lived together forever or for however long, I was like, I don't think we would get shit done or we would just be super productive. It'd be one
Yeah.
or the other. Because I mean, it was super fun. But yeah, moving to the UK, that'd be awesome because I want to move. I would rather live somewhere where they're going to tell you the truth. I would rather
Exactly.
live somewhere where you feel like you could trust your government. But I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
hear all these people now who say, "Oh, well, why would I do this? The government's just going to do that." A lot of people in the U.S. do not trust the government. I'm not talking about just vapors in general. I'm talking about everyone. There's a
Yep.
lot of people out there who do not trust the government at all.
I would say there's more than 50% of the nation doesn't trust the government,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
at
Definitely.
least.
And there's some people who still vote for the president, and then after they vote for the president, they still want to complain about it and say, "Oh, well, I don't trust the government because Trump's in there." It's, well, who'd you vote for?
Yeah, exactly.
So the next one we're going to talk about is the Tobacco Free Youth Act bill was approved. It was Senate committee approved. So pretty much this is just going to be a federal thing now to increase the age from 18 to 21 across the United States. However, remains unclear, and bipartisan measures will be brought to the Senate floor. So I'm guessing that's like the what is it called, exemptions, like for military and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like cannabis. It's federally illegal, but statewide it's legal and illegal.
Right.
So it's kind of like it's still up to the states, but the government's going to go ahead and say, okay, well, hey, government wide or U.S. wide, it's going to be 21. But then like I think they talked about on That's What She Said, where they said, well, you have to be stricter than the government. You can't be less strict than the government. But
Mm-hmm.
yet you look at like all the states who are legalizing cannabis, well, then you're going less strict than the government. So this is kind of the exact same thing. It's still pretty much up for state to state.
Mm-hmm.
I hopefully this takes away all the county and city to city ones because I think those are just absolutely stupid.
Yeah, well, it's not going to. It'll be,
No, yeah,
well, this prime example is where I live. In the city of where I live, you can buy alcohol. In the county of where I live, you cannot.
yep,
So I mean, it's a crazy ordeal.
Hmm. So I mean, just if you're over or if you're under 21, I don't know what to really tell you. It's gonna suck, but I mean, you kind of know what to look out for now. So I mean, you should have known what to look out for because we all know once something it becomes one state laws, the whole government's going to look at it and say, well, maybe we should do that for us.
Yeah,
So I mean, there you should have already been doing something about it. But I mean, if you haven't, definitely get off your butt and go do something because it's going to hit, and once it hits, it's not going to go away. And if it does, it'll be whenever you're already older than 21. So I mean, definitely get out there, make your voice be heard because this is something that's definitely going to hurt a lot of people. And I mean, being vaping for a year and going back to cigarettes for another 4 years or however long you're going to be vaping, or I guess it'd be like another 3 4 years. You won't be able to vape, so you'll be back on cigarettes. It'll be that much harder for you to get off of cigarettes once you can vape again and become the legal age, or you'll probably just look at it like, I'm not interested in it no
well,
more.
you're not going to be able to smoke either because it's going to be all tobacco
Oh yeah.
products. 21.
Well, I mean, it'd be easier for a kid to get cigarettes, or not a kid, but someone in between the ages.
Yeah,
But that makes me wonder about Massachusetts. So they could pretty much go and they could, or I'm dropping the link right now so that way everyone has it. But makes me wonder if they could do if they since they have them separate, would they be able, or not Massachusetts,
Michigan.
Michigan, where they could so they could pretty much make smoking legal at 18 and 21 for vaping if they wanted to.
Yeah,
So, I mean that would be the worst predicament. But I mean, it's just to me, it's just crazy how they just don't see the U.S. government doesn't see it, or they don't
yeah,
see. Okay, well, let me look past the money and actually worry about the people that voted me in.
yeah. And I have a feeling the online retailers are going to get hit hard before the actual brick and mortars. Uh, but what message to all brick and mortar owners, if anybody in here is watching that knows somebody that owns one or you own one, make sure they understand that they have to be checking IDs. The FDA may not try to run a sting on you or anything like that, but just make sure all your T's are crossed and all your I's are dotted. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you don't, that's going to hurt us in the long run as vapors. Uh, you know, you're giving fuel to the fire of them taking this away from everybody as a whole, and that's a big thing with me. I don't remember who it was on. I shared an Instagram photo uh, of I think it was like Knox City Vapor or something like that, where they had put up all new colored signs on the outside of their building. If you're not 21, don't even come in. And the good vape shop here in my town, there's one good one and one bad one. The good one has put up new signs on the outside of theirs. Under 19, not even allowed inside. Uh, so,
That's good.
yeah. And the other thing I want the vape shop owners to know is if you have somebody come in and you have somebody sitting outside, they're probably buying something for the person outside. So
Yeah.
be smart, educate your employees to understand that, and have them be on their toes. Don't just sell to because the guy's 21. If he comes in with a mech mod and he wants to buy a pod system, kind of investigate that.
Yeah.
Why? Guy's vaping on a mech mod. Mech and an RDA. Why is he buying a pod system? That's kind of weird. So yeah,
Oh
Mike the Vaping 8, rule of thumb, ID everyone. Yes,
yeah.
all day long.
Yep, and then like that, like Walmart, they're one of the ones who changed theirs to
Mm-hmm.
21 because they wanted to. They were 93% or 97%, something like that, of their compliance, and they wanted to boost it to where they got 100%. And they're one of the people where they ID unless you look like you're, I think it's 60 or 70 years old. There's something like that. Like pretty
Yeah.
much if you're 60 or 70, they're not going to ID you. That's their rule of thumb. Is if a guy looks 45, they have to ID him. If the guy looks
Mm-hmm.
50, they have to ID him. So I mean, that's something that's kind of a good one too. Because I mean, if someone's walking around all crippled and wrinkled, I mean, checking their ID, eh, there's no real reason unless someone's wearing a mask. But I mean, it's always good to check IDs. I bought beer not that long ago. I didn't get my ID checked. I know I don't look very young, but I mean, I know a lot of people who had bigger beards than me and looked older than me at in high school. So I'm like, no matter what, anyone should be checking IDs on anything: cigarettes, vape products, liquor, alcohol, any of that. Everyone should be checking IDs. But there's sometimes where I don't get my ID checked. I'm like, huh, wonder why they didn't ID me. And
Yeah,
there's been a couple times where I've asked, like, oh, well, you looked old enough. I'm like, well, I'll mess with them. Well, I'm only 19 years old, so I was just wondering.
yeah,
Oh, well, are you sure? Let me see your ID. And
yeah.
I'll show my ID, but I'm like,
Yes.
see, that's something you got to do is you got to make sure you're still checking them no matter what.
Yeah, it's too late now. I've already bought it. You can't see my ID.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it's something that we could that the owners and the shops and 7-Elevens and all the places around could maybe help us out the most is just by checking IDs.
Yep.
By checking IDs will help out the most, and actually caring, actually caring about who you're buying stuff or who you're selling stuff to. Ask them questions like Shane said. Like if they walk in there with a mech mod or a stack and you see them walk out with a pod system, there's no way they're going to be vaping a pod system.
Yeah.
So I
More.
mean,
I
it's
mean, more than likely.
yeah. I mean, like I have a pod system right here, but I don't carry a stack around with me. Stack stays at home. But I mean, it's just like it's just weird how a lot of shop people don't want to actually like take the time to know the customer and actually understand them. Like I don't even work at one. If I go and I help my local shop out, I'll go in there and I'll try to learn something about someone. Well, what's your kind of flavors you like? What is about this? What about that? Because I've tried every flavor in there. I can help them out the most.
Hmm.
So I mean, and I don't even work at one. But I mean, knowing your customers is another good thing. Also, we all got to make sure we're doing that, and hopefully, people have been going to their vape shops because I know I haven't been in the last week. But I went 2 weeks ago, and I mean, it's always still to go in there, go buy something, go hang out, talk to them,
Yep.
and help try to promote them too whenever you can. Because like if you're trying to get an elderly person onto vaping, best thing to do is tell them, hey, I got a shop that's 5 minutes from here, right over here down the road.
Yep.
And it doesn't even have to be your main shop. Just point them to the closest shop that you know of. Because if they're like, oh, I don't want to do that, I have to order everything online, wait days for it to come in, I can't just go pick it up. Tell them, hey,
Yep.
yeah, you can. There's ways to pick it up. There's
Hmm.
definitely ways.
Yeah, I went into mine today. Picked up a couple of coils for this Nord and
Mm-hmm.
a thing of cotton bacon prime. Uh,
Yeah,
and they carded me. The guy knows me, and he still carded me.
that's good.
They have cameras in there, so they card everybody just in case anything's said. They have the evidence of, yes, here, you can see the video of me checking this guy's ID.
Yeah, and that's like Grim Green and them we're talking about is like if you even if you see their signs not up to date, talk to them about it. Say, hey man, maybe you should get that sign up to date because the age has changed and stuff like that. And they had a really good discussion about vape shops and everything and being of age. So I mean, it's still good to get ID'd. And they're kind of saying, well, why can't it be like cannabis, whenever you have to get ID'd when you walk through the door, you show the person at the counter your ID, and then as you walk through and you get wanded, they check your ID again. I'm not saying just check it 3 times and get a security thing out there, but at least check it once. It's all
Yeah,
you have to do. It takes 1 second. It's, oh, well, I don't have it here. I have it at home. Still, then don't just say, okay, yeah, here, I'll sell to you this one time, because you do that, you're most likely going to do it the next time,
yeah,
and you're going to keep doing it. So I mean, it's always best to, okay, well, I mean, shop closes this time, hopefully you can make it back. It's not being a dick. Yeah, you might lose money because you couldn't get a sell or anything like that, but it's something that's going to help out in the long run with everyone and the whole
yeah.
community.
And one thing is, and this kind of hit me the other day, and I don't know what the upfront cost would be for the brick and mortar, but the what's the security in the airport, TSA.
TSA.
They have a scanner for your ID on a lot of them that I've seen, where they can scan the barcode on the back of your ID and know if it's real. They get all your, they can get your information from that. Why aren't we using that in other applications? At the vape
I
shop, when you walk in, you scan your ID. You know.
I think those are too. Well, I don't want to say they're too expensive. I haven't researched it, but I think they're. It's a little bit more of an expensive technology. But I mean, there's even ones where you don't have to have like the little scan thing. You can actually, or like you can swipe them. I've seen ones for like TSA where they put it underneath this thing, it scans it.
Yeah.
At our local, one of our local gas stations here in Texas is Quick Trip. They actually can get the little scan gun out and actually scan your ID and it'll pop it up.
Mm-hmm.
Because anytime you buy something, you have to type it in or they have to scan your ID, and that's what they mainly do is just scan your ID because they don't have to actually look at it. All they got
Right.
to do is just scan it, make sure the picture matches up, and you're good. So I mean, that would be something that'd be really cool, but I just don't know if vape shops would have enough money to invest into something like that. But maybe if the FDA said, "Oh, instead of banning everything, all the shops out there have to go out and buy not a certain one, but it has to go out there and buy some kind of uh, scanning device for IDs before you walk through the door. That'd be something that'd
Well,
be a better regulation to me.
here's the thing. It's a 2D barcode, and this is coming from
Mm-hmm.
my expertise because I work with this stuff every day. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
they have 2D barcode scanners. You know, you see them all the time. The little scanner they use at the gas station, where they take
Yeah.
the barcode and they slide it under it. You know, it looks like a little, almost like a little scan gun.
Mm-hmm.
So we use those all day long at where I work. On the back of your license, that's a 2D barcode. If the FDA will provide
The
the
program.
software, the
Yeah.
program, those 2D barcodes you can get them for 80, $100. You know, and
That'd be
they're
something nice.
yeah, there's something there where they could scan that ID. You have to scan the ID before you start the transaction. And if that information comes up, you know, in there in that system, it updates daily because it's connected to the internet. There's your date. You know, you have to be born before this date. It's already programmed in there. You scan the ID, pops up, hey, everything's good to go. You can start the transaction. There is your control. But you
Mm-hmm.
have the shop is still responsible for checking the ID and making sure it's the same person. Because you know
Yep.
you could take somebody else's ID and just let them scan it and it pops up. There's always going to be a way around it, but that's where the
Yeah.
shop has to take that responsibility of actually physically checking it, but they have to scan it before the transaction starts.
Yeah. That. I mean, that's something I didn't think of, but that'd be something that'd be really awesome if the FDA said, "Hey, well, yeah, y'all got it. Y'all have to have this program, so we're gonna make it available for y'all. Y'all just have to go out and buy the scan thing." That'd be
Yep.
awesome.
I tell you what I'm going to do.
So simple.
I have those at work, so I'm going to take my ID and I'm going to put it in our program at work to see if I can scan it and see what comes up with our scanners. I want to see what I can figure out with that. Shoot, I
Yeah.
may be able to write that program and sell it.
See, there you go.
And I
Yeah, I mean,
honestly, for any vape shop, if I can come up with somebody that can help me get that program going, I would give it to every vape shop.
that'd be something that'd be awesome. Because I mean, it could be something where like a local vape shop could say, and it could change a whole committee of people they're talking to's minds about. Okay, yeah, well, they're not gonna be able to sell to teens because of this, and this is something that they've been doing for 6 months, and they've seen a good amount of people who don't have IDs not come back in. Be something super simple and easy that could get done.
Mm-hmm. Or make it
Just
where
talk,
you have to scan your ID before you can go in the door.
yeah, yep. Um, but like I always like to say, make sure you do go to your local vape shop because I know I'm bad about not going as often, but I try to go whenever I can. But it's always good to go in there and just talk to them. I know I always say it. I know I try to, or at least I know I always try to say it. But make sure you do go in there because they are the people who are most likely the first people to help you get off of cigarettes.
Yep.
So they're probably the most knowledgeable of you and they could probably help you out the most. But remember, the people who helped you get off is the people who you need to go to and see the most often. I know it's so much easier, especially around the holidays, getting all the deals and everything, but still try to pop in there and just at least buy a bottle of juice a month or something. Might be double the price of what you'll find it online, but you know that you're helping people out that helped you get off of cigarettes.
Yeah, huge.
Um, Oh, and I also want to, one thing I forgot to at the beginning is I want to give a huge shout out to Clown. He helped me out on some DIY and some coils, but make sure y'all go check out clownvapes.com. And I can't put that in the description, but make sure you go there to clownvapes.com. Make sure you go check it out. Use code WISDOM, all lowercase, I believe, and you can get 10% off on your purchase of any Clown coils or any of his liquids that he has that he makes. And he's got some pretty good ones. And he's been helping me try to make some liquids too. So I mean, that's one of the other guys I've seen who doesn't really want to make more juices because of the
So,
U.S.
yeah,
stuff.
right. Clown vapes. Right. Okay. I keep going the wrong way. No, this way. No, that way. It's over there. It's hard to follow my finger.
Right
Oh,
in the
there it
middle.
is. Right there. I got it that time.
But yeah, definitely go check out Clown Vape. But I mean, he's one of the guys too who's like kind of he's not really discouraged, but he's kind of like, man, if I make more liquids and make more flavors, that's just more stuff I got to fill out to be able to make sure I'm in compliance.
Yep.
So I mean, you never know. People like that are going to start taking avenues to go outside of the country. I mean, you've already seen it in a lot of bigger people. And like I know Eric Vinyl Vapor, he was talking about not even releasing his side C and D in the United States because of all the regulations. I don't know if he still is or if he isn't, but I know that's something he did talk about a while back. And he had those going for a while, and I can't wait to try C. I think it's a peanut butter patty or something like that.
Ooh, I bet that'll be good.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
I'm
like,
super
and
excited.
you know, you're talking about going through the PMTA with Clown. The Everyday Vapor, said it's going to cost him $7,000 each flavor to go through it.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough, especially for like a someone like Eric and all the smaller people like E and Clown, people who make their juice and they are the only employee.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be super hard for them
Yep. That's
because
you know, they brought up earlier the black market. The black market's going to explode with with vaping and
oh yeah,
e-cigarettes. Liquid and everything else is going to be huge on the black market.
oh yeah. I guarantee you're going to see a lot more increased sales on fast tech and stuff to try to
Mm-hmm.
get stuff from out of the country and
Yep.
knowing knowing where you can get it from out of the country. I mean, there's a couple off the top of my head where it's super easy and cheap, but you gotta wait forever on shipping.
Yeah.
But I
And it
mean,
all
if
depends on
you're
how they
really some,
label it.
yep,
If they label it as metal parts, it's just metal parts.
yeah, I think when Fast Tech does it, I believe someone said it. They put it underneath electronic toy.
Yeah.
So I mean, that could be anything.
Yeah, I mean, it really could. And if they decide to open it and they see that it's a vaping device, they may take it and they may not. You may never see it.
Yep, yep. That's like one of the Stooges. He was gonna name his liquids flavored anal lube or something like or flavored sex lube or anal lube, something like that. And I mean, it's
Nice.
just like it's just funny things we think of, but I mean, it's something that we're really gonna have to start considering soon if we don't start stepping up and doing something. Because whenever something like this happens, you can't just sit back and watch it happen. You got to step up to the plate
Right.
to do something because there's a lot of consequences that can come from this, and it's the main consequence is unemployment,
Mm-hmm.
not just at shops, but all the people who do stuff from their house. I believe like I know a couple people who they don't even work because they make enough off of vaping and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then once all the stuff gets, I think me and Shane actually talked about this the other day. Was one of the things where say if vaping gets banned all throughout the United States, well then Mike Vapes and them doing the reviews and Grim Green and all of them, how are they gonna make money off of it? Because you can't even get it in the
Right.
states.
Yeah, I
So
mean, your
you see that
income's
avenue
gone.
go way down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. From YouTube, from vendors, from everyone,
Mm-hmm.
sponsors, all that. I mean, you're pretty much they're pretty much gonna have to go find a 9 to 5 job and they're gonna start working.
Yep.
So that's one of the things why Shane said he kind of called out the bigger guys on some advocacy because it's like this is going to directly affect y'all a lot. So
Yeah.
y'all need to be ready for it. And I mean, honestly, it wasn't like calling them out. It was pretty much telling them, hey, you need to prepare and you need to do something or you need to start getting ready for it.
Right. No matter who you are, you got to be ready for it. And like last week, I think what they call it, adpocalypse, where they
Mm-hmm.
demonetized a lot of the vaping channels. So they've already lost a lot of money. So whenever if that ever happens, which I really hope it doesn't, if it ever gets banned completely, they're going to lose their channel altogether.
Hmm.
So,
And and then I think like I'm not gonna say it because I don't know if you're allowed to say it on YouTube, but I know like money and everything else from anything, if it gets demonetized, none of that money gets seen. So I mean, at all. So I mean, that's honestly hurting their pocket right out of the bat.
hmm yeah, they lose all their ad revenue, everything. I think the only thing they get money from, regardless, is the YouTube Premium, YouTube Red, whatever it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
So I think that's all they get.
And I'll go ahead and say it. Supposedly they don't get super chat either. I'm gonna go ahead and say it because I don't really care. They're good if they can't demonetize me anyway. I don't have enough subscribers, but yeah, if you get demonetized, your um whatchamacallit, all your super chat that you earn throughout the whole show, it could be $1,000, it could be $1,
Mm-hmm.
all gone.
Yep.
So I mean that honest, and I mean they don't get it. It goes straight to YouTube. So I mean the person who paid doesn't ever get to know that.
Right.
And honestly, I'm not a huge super chatter. Never really been, but I mean every now and then I'll throw one in there. And now it kind of makes me like, okay, well, let me listen to the topics they're talking about because if this is going to get demonetized, why am I going to put money out there for them that they're never going to see? And to me, that just sucks because that it's pretty much taking away someone's money that they're earning by doing a show,
Yep.
and they're using your platform to do it. And they already give you a percentage, but say you're just going to take it all. To me, that's wrong.
Yeah. I don't like
Um,
it at all.
no, no, because I mean it's messing with someone's money. If you know you're doing something wrong and it's going to mess with your money or whatever,
Yeah.
then yeah, then that's on you. But if you don't know it's going to mess with you, that's something where it gets that's where it starts getting wrong. If you're trying to go by the book and you're still getting demonetized, like I know a couple of reviewers who are getting demonetized, and they said that they'll put their they'll go to post their video, and once they post it, while it's rendering, right after it gets done, it goes to go upload. It just boom demonetized. Like it
Hmm.
doesn't even hit YouTube yet, and it's already demonetized.
Oh wow.
That, so I mean, they might be just going off of tags, but then they've also talked about, like I know Grim Green talked about it on Inside the Minds too, and I've got to talk to a couple of reviewers at the show about it. They're like it sucks because I mean you tell them, okay, yeah, well I want you to review it. They do a manual review, and sometimes it could take a day or it could take up to a month. So I mean that's something that really sucks is you're pretty much you had a video ready to go and it gets demonetized before it even gets put up, and then now you're just like, oh well, that was a waste of time.
Yeah.
Especially if you're someone who makes money off of stuff like that.
Yeah, and Anthony put in there. Grim said he went from $4,500 a month to about $250 a month.
Yep, he said he could pay for his rent, his all of his bills, and his car payment and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and still have a little bit of money on the side. $250 that might pay for my electric bill in the summer.
Yeah.
That's about it. In the winter, it might be able to pay for my electric and my water, but in the summer, that's strictly electric right there. So I
Yeah.
mean that sucks because I guarantee you it's made him think twice about, okay, do I want to do reviews? Do I want to keep spreading the word about vaping?
Right.
I mean, it's got to be something that's really got to hit you right in the heart to like say, okay, well, is it even worth it? I'm not making any money on it. So I mean, it is something that's real terrible to see happen to reviewers who've been doing it for years, who've put their heart and soul into their channel and all the stuff they do, especially like Grim, where he did the 510 report and everything, and he still does them. I mean, stuff like that. When you're a huge advocate and then you're starting to get demonetized, and you're like, okay, well, I mean, is it even worth it? That's when it starts really being a big issue too.
Right.
But um, let's
There was.
see. I think I had one
I
more.
was about to say. I
Oh,
thought we had.
did you want to talk about the Scott Gottlieb thing?
Oh yeah. Yeah. We'll touch on that.
I'll put the link in the chat.
So if you hadn't noticed, oh, where'd it go? Let's see, I think it's over here.
It's
That
on vaping is the one I had it on.
yeah, that's I was just trying to figure out which browser I had it on. So if some of you hadn't noticed that former FDA director Mr. Scott Gottlieb has got a new job. So he left the FDA to go home and spend time with his family. Now he has a brand new job with Pfizer. Uh, you know, Anybody that's in the South will get this, and if you're not, I'm sorry. But everybody with the FDA and in the community of thinking that Scott Gottlieb was going to be gone, you just got mired. Uh, Florida got mired whenever I call him Oscar Mayer when he said that he wanted to quit coaching so he could go home and spend time with his daughters, and then ended up a year later over at Ohio State. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and everybody that thought he was going away, no, he just took his money and ran. And
Mm-hmm.
it may be that Pfizer wanted him out of the FDA because they probably have more money invested in somebody else that's coming forward now. Don't take that by my word. That's just my opinion. That
Mm-hmm.
I think they have hooks in more to somebody else that they wanted there. And so they offered Mr. Gottlieb a huge settlement to take him out of there and ended up, hey, part of your settlement, you're going to come over here and be part of our board.
Yeah.
So, that gives you right there that that's where a lot of the FDA money comes from. A lot of this research money. Now, you can go and you can pull up the FDA budget, you can find it online.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what they don't tell you is how much is coming from outside sources that is not listed in this budget. And this is just a operating budget. This is our year. Here's what we want to accomplish this year, and here is the budget for it. That's saying
Yeah.
how much this is how much you're getting from the government. Okay, well, we all know that there's a lot of things that go on that are not government funded, that are taking money saying, hey, we need the FDA to do this. Here's $5 million. We need the FDA to approve this. Here's $5 million for research.
Yeah.
So it's going to cost you, I don't know, a couple of 100,000 to do this research, and you're banking 5.8 or $4.8 million, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I think this research is good. It's been 2 weeks. Let's go ahead and approve it. This $4.8 million in my pocket here. So, and not
Mm-hmm.
not saying that the government is part of that, but I can't say that the government is not part of that.
Yep.
They can't confirm nor deny. I think that's one thing that the government uses a lot because they don't want to.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And when they see that money and those dollar signs, they're like, you know what? Yeah, we could push that through for you.
yeah,
Like, kind of like what I think will happen to IQOS. Oh yeah, half the time of anyone else. Yeah, let's go ahead. We'll approve it.
yeah,
Through a little bit extra money. You
and
had to pay
then
double.
yeah, if you don't know, Pfizer is one of the biggest NRT companies out there. You know,
Mm.
they have let's see what other they had. They had the little inhaler. I don't know if that's still out there. The nicotine inhaler, and I
I'm
think they
not too sure if
had.
that's out there.
I know it was at one point, but I can't remember what else they have. But they have a few NRT things that are on the market already, which is just kind of a coincidence that Gottlieb leaves there and goes to one of the companies, one of the biggest, you know, pharmaceutical manufacturers in the world. Not just the U.S. They're one of the biggest in the world, and he ends up
Hmm.
over there. Uh,
Yeah.
so he resigned on March 5th, 2019. Uh, in early April, he had departed as FDA commissioner. And June 27th, he announced via Twitter, I am honored to be joining the board of directors of Pfizer and working together with more than 90,000 Pfizer colleagues to promote medical innovation.
Yeah. And we all know that that is we all know that they're corrupt.
Oh yeah.
We don't. Yeah. So I mean, and it's just like the government. We don't want to have to admit it because it's like, okay, yeah, we're proud of where we live. Like I'm honestly proud to be an American. I'm proud to live in Texas. I'm proud of everything that happens. But then it's like there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background where it makes you like, man, am I really that proud to be here? But then it's like, okay, yeah, we have so many of these good things, but yet we just can't get our government to open their eyes and speak the truth to everyone. And then you got other companies like you were talking about how they'll pay a good amount of money to get something pushed through, and it's just like we're not really looking out for the people if they're actually doing that.
Right.
It's really bad because I mean, I know like we've talked about it before. Whenever they were talking about the obesity rate, I don't know, maybe like 8 years ago or something like that, 8-10 years ago, they're talking about obesity rates, and it's like, okay, well, we're gonna talk about that, but then whenever it comes to something that's actually helping, we don't want to mention it because it's something that's out of the norm or out of the regular. It's something that someone just came up with, and we don't want to talk about it because we want to kind of hide it and we want to hide the truth.
Yeah.
And to me, that hiding the truth is never anything. Having little back secrets and stuff like that, you should be completely open with the people that voted you into office. It's kind of like a boss. Like at our workplace, we have this thing we call it open door policy.
Hmm.
You're in a meeting, yeah, close your door, but pretty much what it means is we're not going to keep our door open 24/7, but our door is always open to someone to walk in and talk to at any time.
Right.
So I mean, it's something like that. Like with the government, you should be able to ask them, "Hey, well, what's going on with this?" And if they're, "Oh, well, yeah, we're still looking into it, but here's something that's more harmful for you, and we're going to approve it." To me,
Yeah.
that I think the government needs to take a different stance. Kind of like if we had a reset button, that'd
Hmm.
be something that'd be great.
Yeah. And don't believe all the junk science. I think that's a lot of what they do.
Yep.
Hey, we have researched this. Here's all our paperwork. Okay, thank you. Let's go ahead and publish it. They don't even read it. I don't know that for sure. That's just my opinion, and I know I say that a lot, but that's the way I feel that they do things. Is I understand you have to trust your researchers, and I understand that, but the way that I am, if doesn't matter who tells me this is fact, I'll put my hand on the Bible. I'll let you know. Doesn't matter. I'm going to go look at it myself before I tell anybody else about it.
Yeah.
And, you
Yep.
mentioned the obesity thing, and that made me think, they talked about that obesity thing based on the BMI calculator.
Yeah.
Okay, well, think about this. One of the best boxers ever, in my opinion, is Mike Tyson.
Hmm.
He was tough as nails. The guy's 5'10", and in his prime, he weighed 220. In his prime, he's considered obese.
Yep.
He had probably less than 10% body fat, but he was considered obese because of his height and weight. You
Yeah.
know, that's the BMI calculator is useless in my opinion.
Yeah. Especially like if you do an actual body index or like an actual body test where you can stand on the scale and it has the electrodes, or they actually do the pinch test, those are
Yeah,
accurate.
right.
But that's like with me. Whenever I was at my fittest trying to do bodybuilding, I was at like 230 with maybe 5% body fat,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Or I think I might have been like 230, 235. But I only had, I think it was a little bit less than 5% body fat. And I had to do my yearly physical for my work, or else we get charged $50. $50 a paycheck, I think. So it was $100 a month or $50 a month, something like that. But I took my test and I get my results back, and they say, "Oh, everything's perfect. You're obese, though." I'm like,
Yeah,
"I'm 5% body fat." There's
yeah,
like, what? But
exactly.
but I know exactly what it was about. It was okay, height to weight ratio, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm a pretty tall person, so I was like, okay, I should still be good. But it's just what they think is the average size. But I mean, it's I guess you could say it's kind of like the government's doing stuff like that
Yeah,
and kind of BS measuring units,
yeah,
and we see it a lot with all these epidemics that we get.
yeah. All the epidemics coming in.
Hmm.
Well, the epidemic needs to be that they're stepping on our rights to try to
Yes.
take something away from a free country.
Yeah, and I wish there was ways to where you could get it to where you could actually talk to the actual people and tell them, hey, well, I think you're doing this wrong, and they could actually listen. That'd be something that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But we're coming to the end of the show, and I guess we should go ahead and do our sign offs because it's starting to hail where
Uh
I'm
oh.
at, and I don't want the power to go out.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely don't do that. We've been through that.
Yeah. I just looked outside. I'm like, what are those little things bouncing? Oh, nice. We got hail coming. But Shane, what do you got going on this week? And I know you were talking about next week not being able to come on.
I am leaving Monday morning, and I will not be back until late Saturday night. I will be at the beach with my family for the week, so I probably won't have anything uploaded. I wanted to get a video recorded, but work was hell on wheels this week and didn't
Oh
really
yeah.
have time to sit down and do anything. I am going to try to go live later tonight just to kind of get some news out there. May cover a few of the same subjects we did now, but there's always something out there to talk about. So Jay may be on. There may be a few other people pop in, but I really liked that last week. It was a lot of fun just being able to get the word out there and getting to talk to the people in chat and things like that. So probably do that later on tonight. But I'll keep up with my news. I always do
Mm-hmm.
while I'm gone. If there's anything that needs to be covered next week, I'll be sure to let Jay know. So that way, he can get the word out there to you guys, and I'll be back just as quick as I can. So, but I love spending time with my family. Going down to the beach. I don't like it, but just about everybody else in the family does. So I go and I go to the pool, and they go to the beach, and they have a
Mm-hmm.
good time, and so do I. So, well, what you got
Yeah.
coming next week?
So last week I didn't post much. Honestly, when it Thursday Thursday was probably the last day I touched Instagram. Friday on the way out there, I did a few quick stories on Instagram, and the rest of the time I pretty much just shut off Discord, shut off any social media, and it kind of felt good. But I shut off all social media. I shut off YouTube. I think we connected the phone to the TV that we had, the huge TV that was 32 inches or something. But we shut everything off, and we had the phone connected. We watched a couple of the different shows. Like we watched Shane, we watched the Green Room replay and stuff like that. But uh, so I didn't really get to post much. So this week I'm back to normal. I'm most likely going to be doing my Houston, what all I got in Houston, I guess you could say, and what all I got out of it. I didn't do a vlog. I know Nick's gonna be doing a vlog. I'm pretty sure Stan will be doing a vlog because they were recording the whole time. We were all out there. I didn't bring a camera. I kind of wanted just to relax on my first show, and it was super fun. So I plan on sharing my experience and everything I got. And then I'll have a review, and I might do a mail time, but I'm probably just gonna do two reviews. I need to catch up on my reviews. I got stuff piling up that I've had for review for a while, and I'm like, all right, it's getting a little old. Let me go ahead and do it.
Yeah,
So back to normal on reviews. I'm gonna try to do two reviews and at least one mail time or flashback Friday video. Still haven't done one of those, but I plan on doing a whole lot more with reviews. I just need to get back into the book on it. And then also I started DIYing. I bought all my stuff for DIYing to make coils. So I mean, I might pop in some videos of that here soon and some liquids, how to make them and stuff. So I definitely got some really good help from our sponsor, Clown. He helped me out a lot. He helped me out with where to find everything and how to kind of get started. And when we were actually out there at the Houston, everyone went to the brewery except for a couple people, and I stayed back with Clown to kind of learn a little bit of DIY. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I got a lot more coming for the channel, and I was actually thinking about maybe taking the weekend wisdom a step further. But me and Shane are going to talk about that more and maybe have it twice a week or something.
ooh,
But we got some busy schedules. I know that we both kind of do.
yeah.
So it
So, but
might be
hey,
every other week or something that we might
yeah,
have to do something like that.
yeah. If it's after 8 o'clock on, or I'd say 8:30 during the week, I can probably do it.
Yeah. So definitely everyone go subscribe to Shane. He does some really good videos that he records, and He takes his time to give you the information, so definitely go check those out. They're usually about 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, so
Mm-hmm.
always a good thing to check those out. Subscribe to him, hit the notification bell, follow him on Instagram. I believe your channel and your Instagram are in my link or are in the description of this.
Oh, okay.
So
Good. Thank you.
yeah, yeah. So make sure y'all go check him out and make sure you subscribe because he put up some really good videos. But I believe that's it. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Like I say every time, always let your voice be heard, no matter what it is. Make sure you're a part, no matter how small your role is. Let your voice be heard.
Yep, always. Doesn't matter if your platform's huge or small. Make sure you let yourself be heard. But
Mm-hmm.
until next time, grab your vape and let's spread the word. Let's go out there and let's talk to some people about it. But until next time, we'll see y'all later.